Hello, everyone. My name is Eric B., and welcome to another episode of Book Talk. Now, when I first started this channel, I I told you flat out that my motivation for starting this channel was so that I could promote my books. But I also mentioned that my books would not be 100% of what this channel is all about. It's also going to be about giving advice to artists because I believe that that understanding how the artist's mind works will play a key role in helping you to understand how some of my books were written the way they have been written. Which is why today, instead of talking about any of my books, today I'm going to focus on brainstorming. I want to help you to understand why my number one rule is keep a pen and paper on your person at all times. Brainstorming is like a river. Um, the well, first of all, before I get into that, there's one thing I want to emphasize. Brainstorming, the reason why brainstorming is called brainstorming is because when the inspiration comes to your mind, it comes to your mind like a storm. It comes hard and heavy and seemingly out of nowhere. I mean, think about it. Think about a lot of the rainstorms you've seen in your lifetime. Have you ever? Do you remember how sometimes you have like a sunny day? Sometimes it doesn't seem like a rainstorm is anywhere near, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, is just pouring on you. I can't tell you how many summer days in my lifetime that's happened to me. Well, inspiration happens a lot like that. One minute you're thinking of something that has absolutely nothing to do with any artistic endeavor that you're currently participating in. And the next minute, you have all kinds of great ideas that suddenly came to you out of nowhere. Now, what happened? What happened? Well, I call it the floodgates of brainstorming. Now, back to brainstorming happens like a river. Now, yeah, I remember when I went on my very first rafting trip back in the summer of 2008. Um, uh, when I was getting ready to go out into the river for the first time, the Vermilion River in central Illinois, I remember going out to the bridge to look down at the river, and there were two things that I noticed. One thing I noticed is that the river was grander than anything that I had imagined before I went to that, and I couldn't believe that I was actually getting ready to raft in that water. And I was thinking to myself, what the heck was I thinking? Why did I agree to come on this trip? But the other thing I was noticing was that the water was always continually flowing forward. Nothing was stopping the water from going forward, except, a dam maybe. And about halfway through our rafting trip, we definitely ran into the river's dam. But we'll get back to the dam later. Right now, I want to focus on the forward motion of the river. That's exactly how inspiration happens. When your inspiration comes to you out of nowhere, it flows continually forward, which means that if you're not ready to put that inspiration down on paper while it's flowing through your head, guess what? That inspiration that was here a minute ago is gone the next minute. Here 1 minute, gone the next. And if you're not ready with that pen and paper when that inspiration comes, you're screwed. It's gone. If you don't catch it when it comes, it's gone. So you have to get the inspiration right now. And also another thing you might notice about the river is you can't decide when the river is going to pass through, when the waters of the river are going to pass by a certain point. It flows continuously and unpredictably, and it keeps flowing. Well, I guess it's somewhat predictable, but you can't predict when a certain part of the water will hit a certain point. Like, for example, the part of the water your raft is in. How do you know exactly when it's going to hit a certain point? You can't. You can't know exactly when. You could maybe know approximately when. And inspiration works a lot the same way. You don't know when inspiration is going to come. Inspiration might come when you're sitting down in front of your computer. Inspiration might come while you're lying down in bed, playing around on your phone. Inspiration might come while you're taking a walk down the neighborhood or through the park or through a shopping mall. Inspiration might come while you're hard at work on your day job or in school in the middle of your teacher's slash professor's lecture. Inspiration might come while you're sitting in the lobby waiting for your doctor, or sitting in the lobby waiting for your airplane, or sitting at the bus stop or train station, or on board the bus, or on board the train, or on board the plane. You don't know when or where your inspiration is going to come. And if you lose that inspiration, it's gone. It's just gone. So you need to be ready to get it down on paper. Now I know what somebody out there is thinking. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So you don't know when inspiration is gonna come. So why pen and paper? How come I can't just type it down on my phone? Go on my phone and write it down on there. Okay, well you could do that, but see, if I were you, I would not rely on any machine to collect my inspiration when it comes to me out of nowhere. And I'm going to tell you why. Because machines have a funny way of acting funny when you need them the most. How many times have you gone on your phone or your tablet or your iPod or your iPad or not iPod, your iPad, and or your desktop computer, and just when you needed it to function for you so you could do this one thing real quick, it decides to crash or is going slow, or you're offline for some reason, or 100 other different scenarios. You don't have time for that. Your inspiration is here in seconds and is gone in just as many seconds. You have seconds to get that inspiration down before it is gone from your mind forever. You need to get it down on paper now. You got all the time in the world later on to fix your computer problems. Right now, you got to get that inspiration down on paper. And that's where your pen and paper comes in. Your pen and paper will never let you down, whereas your machine probably will let you down sooner or later. Well, yeah, but well, pens run out of ink, though. That's the thing. That's the thing. You should not be bound by a pen that's going to run out of ink. You should always have a backup pen and backup paper for that matter. Me personally, I carry a book bag everywhere I go. Supplied with paper, it's supplied with a notebook full of blank sheets of paper and a minimum of 2 pens, but usually closer to 5 pens in it. So there's little chance of me missing my inspiration and missing my chance to get it down on paper. So that's the key thing. Before you can begin Any great adventure in writing or any other kind of artistry for that matter, you have to start by being ready with a pen and paper on your person at all times so that inspiration will never get away from you just because you're not prepared. Because remember, inspiration comes when it comes. It doesn't come when you're ready. It doesn't come when it's convenient for you. You be ready when it is um when it's time for your inspiration to come. And we're going to go ahead and close there. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Book Talk. Please click the link below to see the visit the website for the one book for the Night Crusader series, or the links to all the other books in the Night Crusader series can link to you through that one link, that one web page. And remember, all the Night Crusader series books have a free chapter on the site, on the website, where you can read so you can decide whether or not you'd like to buy the episode of the Night Crusader series. Thank you very much for joining me for yet another episode of Book Talk, and please come and join me again soon.